All right, have you ever come across an English phrase that just stops you in your tracks? You hear it and you think, wait, what does that even mean? Well, today we're diving into one of those amazing, wonderfully strange idioms, queer fish. It's a bit of a classic, maybe a little old-fashioned, but it's a perfect example of how language can be this super fun, sometimes confusing puzzle.
So let's just imagine for a second. Someone comes up to you and says, your new colleague is a bit of a queer fish. I mean, what's your first thought? A fish that's acting weird? It sounds so peculiar, right? And that's exactly what makes idioms so fascinating. The literal words almost never tell you the real story. So let's get in there and figure out the secret behind this one. Okay, so let's cut right to the chase. A queer fish is, in Indonesian, seseorang yang dianggap aneh, tidak biasa, atau sulit dimengerti. So simply put, it's a person who's seen as strange, unusual, or just kind of hard to figure out. It's a really informal way to describe someone whose behavior is a little, different. But that still begs the question, right? How in the world do we get from a fish to a person?
So, to really get it, we've got to break it down. Just like with most idioms, the secret is in the individual words. Once we figure out what queer and fish mean here, the whole thing is going to click into place. Okay, first piece of the puzzle, the word queer. Now, it's really important to remember that in the context of this specific older idiom, its meaning is super straightforward. It just means strange or odd or unusual. Think of it as a direct substitute for the word aneth. This old school meaning is the real key here. Now, this is an absolutely critical point, so listen up. Today, the word queer has a very important and proud meaning as an identity. But, and this is a big but, in this old idiom, that modern meaning does not apply at all. It's actually a perfect example of how words change over time and can have totally different meanings in different contexts. All right, so we've got the strange part locked in, but what about the fish? Well, this is where things get metaphorical. We're not talking about an actual animal swimming in the ocean, of course. Fish here is just a casual, kind of slangy way to talk about a person. Like a type of person. And here it is, all put together. Queer equals ane, strange. Fish is just a stand-in for orang, a person. So you put them together, and what do you get? Queer fish equals orang ane, a strange person. See? When you break it down, it's actually pretty simple. Okay, knowing what it means is one thing, but seeing how to actually use it is where it all comes together. So let's check out how this quirky little idiom works in a couple of sentences. So here's our first example. He's quite a queer fish. He likes talking to himself in the park every morning. And the Indonesian translation makes it crystal clear. Dia memang orang yang agak aneh, suka berbicara sendiri di taman setiap pagi. So you see, it's used here to point out a very specific, kind of eccentric habit that makes this person stand out from the crowd. Okay, let's do one more. Although he seems like a queer fish, he's actually a genius at mathematics. In Indonesian, meski terlihat seperti orang aneh, sebenarnya dia sangat genius dalam matematika. Now, this example is just fantastic because it shows how you can use the idiom to create contrast. You're acknowledging that, yeah, he seems a little odd on the outside, but then you reveal this surprising, really impressive quality he has. All right, so we know it means a strange person. But does that automatically make it an insult? Like, is it always a negative thing to say?
This is a really important little detail to get right before we finish up. And here's the key takeaway. The tone isn't always negative. Not at all. I mean, sure, it can be used as a criticism, but a lot of the time it's said in a more lighthearted, almost affectionate way. It can just be a way of pointing out someone's harmless quirks, their uniqueness, the fact that they just kind of march to the beat of their own drum. It's often less of a judgment and more of just an observation. And there you have it. That is the whole story behind the idiom queer fish. It's such a great reminder that English can be wonderfully weird, right? Hopefully, the next time you hear this phrase, you'll know exactly what it means. Hey, thanks so much for joining me for this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.